Hey everybody, welcome back to MotoLabDirtBikes.com. I'm Rob Kozler here once again for another tech tip for you. Today we're here with the 14 KTM 300XCW. So we're going to go over some basic bike preparation. And this is just, first is going to be a stage one, which is all the basics. The stuff you should probably double check, and it's definitely, it's a solid investment. Got the new bike, want to make sure everything's good, nice and kosher before you take it out and go hammer the trails or the track, whatever you're into. So basically in the stage one preparation is going to involve checking the tire pressures. These things are notorious to come with the thin tubes from the factory, so I don't advise swapping them out right away. I might as well just go ahead and get that break-in ride on the stock stuff, right? So go ahead and set your tires. If you're a pretty calculated rider, you can afford to get away with lower tire pressures with the MX51 front and rear. I do 12 in rear and 13 in the front. And then also just check your chain tension. Naturally the chain is going to stretch as you get more of a series of rides on the bike, but that's also important. You don't want to overlook that. Also, I'm stressing about this all the time, is setting your rider sag. So get your friend out there, get that tape measure, get the rider sag set, make sure you're good to go. Might as well make it handle right, for the first ride out, and really smart thing to do. So, also Loctiting the Kickstarter bolt. I don't know if KTM corrected this problem or not, but it's been a kind of an issue forever. That'd be a real pisser to lose your brand new Kickstarter out there. I've seen it happen on more than a few occasions, and a little drop of Loctite on that will keep that from happening. So, other bolts and nuts is probably not a bad idea. You just give them a once over, make sure it's good. It's like I said, it's a new solid investment, and just make sure it's all good before you hit the trail. Also, just another big tip is to make sure your air filter is fully seated, not only up against the air filter cage, but also up against the air box itself. Get yourself some disposable gloves. You want to get the tacky foam air filter oil on your hands. Just quick and easy, and just take and run your fingers all the way around to ensure that that's seated properly. So just get in the habit of doing that every time after you service it. It's really a smart thing. Very important. You don't want to grenade or launch a motor, for just a minor oversight. It's just a real heartbreaker. I've seen it happen, so check that out. Also, it's really important to clean your brake rotors. When they ship the bikes over, they get this light film of oil or cosmoline, whatever, to preserve or prevent surface rust on the rotors. So for maximum braking performance, go ahead and get yourself an automotive grade brake cleaner is what they call. Brake cleaner is the brand, whatever. Even household rubbing alcohol on a rag would work good too. So check that out. And last but not least here for stage one is the braking procedure. It can be highly controversial. Everyone's going to have their own idea on how they think it should be broken. Follow the manual to a T. Do whatever you think is going to be the best, but just be sensible about it. If you want to hear what I recommend, I would say a series of 3 15-minute heat cycles. So what that involves is, get it fired up, don't lug the bike, don't rev it over half throttle or 3/4 throttle there, get away with 3/4. Don't just go and hit the big gnarliest hill you could find. Take your time and ride it easy, ride it sensibly, and do that for 15 minutes, let her cool down, jump back on it, do the same thing for 2 more times, and then I think it's pretty much ready to rock and roll. It certainly doesn't hurt, and hey, just go out and take it easy for a few, on your new ride. Get accustomed to it, see how it's going to act. You don't want to go out there and just huck it off some crazy thing and wind up wadded up because not familiar with the new handling of the bike. So that's as far as stage one goes. I think that covers about everything, all the general stuff. Oh, you know what I'd also like to add for stage 1 and 2, it's good if your bike has the battery, which pretty much every single KTM except the minis has one. Go ahead and pull that seat and make sure those battery terminals are tight, and now would be a great time to take and throw one of those Shirai or other lightweight LiPo or lithium ion batteries. That's just an amazing, you can't get that kind of performance per dollar. You figure you spend $150, whatever it is, to take and shave that much weight up that high. I mean, I think it's what, almost 4 pounds of weight savings. It's just astronomical. Highly recommend doing that, because you figure, you know, that's a big leverage once you start getting that off center. I mean, I could go on for days about this stuff, but anyway, that's a good thing to check out too. So stage 2 is not only all the above stuff, but we're going to take and grease some of the major pivot points. You know, you want to start the steering head bearings. Check out our blog at motolabdirtbikes.com. It tells you how to remove the front wheel, the forks. Then go ahead and pull that upper triple clamp off, and you can slide that out, and you have tapered roller bearings in the top and bottom. Get some high quality grease in there. Make sure that that's really greased up well, because the factory, there's much more to be desired as far as type of grease and the amount as well. So that's another critical area. If you got the linkage bike, by all means pull the linkage off. If you have the PDS bike, like on this old girl here, pull the swing arm off. Just do the swing arm pivot bolts and grease the axles too. It's going to make life a lot easier. Extend that service interval, and take it easy on the power washers out there. Everyone's gets all crazy with the power washers. You know, getting it right there, leaning in on the angle with the seals and stuff like that. Just be careful. Just protect your investment and help those service intervals go a little bit longer, because everyone likes to ride and not spend time wrenching or replacing rusty bearings. So really important to take and do that. Torque everything back together. It's really critical, especially up here, on the upper and lower triple clamp bolts. On these, there's a general rule of thumb. I think it's like 17 Newton meters. Some is like 15 foot-pounds, and I think it's like 12 Newton meters on the bottom. Check your manual. Every bike's going to be different, but just make sure it's legit. It's going to be really important to keeping it performing at its best. And then Loctiting all hardware. If you're doing the stage 2 route where you're just stripping it, really important to take and use Loctite on the upper and lower subframe bolts, and some other little trinkets too. Go through it, be sensible, and I hope this was able to provide you with a little bit of insight and help you to better understand how to prep your new bike. Just be sensible, and really appreciate you guys tuning in. Keep your eyes peeled to the website for motolabdirtbikes.com and more DIY tech tips and some awesome deals on our online store. So if you see a product on there, or don't see a product rather, give us a shout. Chances are we're going to be able to get you that really good deal on suspension stuff, and also performance and or exhaust related stuff. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate you all out there, and we'll see you next time.